it is within thinking that we always, well, actually, you just said something that made me think of how this works. You said pharmacy. Derrida always talks about the idea of medicine is also poison. It's not, if we take too much, it kills us. If we take what is prescribed to us, it helps us. So it's not one or the other. In medicine, or in the drug itself, the potential is for good and bad at the same time. So if we can think about that in relation to good, is that how do we think about something that could be, I mean, you could very easily say that, you know, fascism is Hitler's idea of the good, right? So we have to be careful when we think about the good. I think it can be good and it can be destructive at the same time. So, I'm trying to get to the idea of thinking as opposed to knowledge. And again, I'm not anti-knowledge. It's just, it offers us a glimpse into the mental activity in correlation with the becoming movement of conceptual transformations themselves. So, on one hand, what I'm trying to say is that there's a symbiotic movement between thinking and being. So there's not, again, there's not a cut. It's like the medicine, you know. It's not this or this. It's we're thinking beings. We're being thinking. That they correlate. And for me to be in that symbiotic relation allows me, I think, an ability to correlate with the becoming of something like a concept. So I'm trying to get to the idea that how can we grasp the transformation of a concept if we don't organize ourselves around the transformation of being itself, because we'll never understand a concept if we can't understand our own becoming. So I'm trying to get, at least that's where I'm really working hard on this. I wanted to do a part on neuroscience because there's a lot of work in that now that I think suggests what I'm trying to say. It's working toward that. But for now, I just want to talk about what I don't have proof of this. I only have students that transform in front of my eyes. That's not proof, but that's something. Thinking does change being. I don't know how. I can't prove it. I can't get the neuroscience yet. I'm going to go toward that. If somebody knows something about that, I'd be very... But I do believe that the way that we can change is through our thinking and not through what we know. What we know, but how we think about what we know. I can quote that. We'll work with that. So, thinking is being drawn toward, as I said, that which one does not know. I'm going to move forward here. What time do I have to finish? 15 minutes. Okay. So I'll read. So, thinking moves in relation to the formation of conceptual transformations. Thinking and being thus intermingle. In Heidegger's terms, thinking accomplishes, this is Heidegger quote, I'm quoting him, thinking accomplishes the relation of being to the essence of man. So thinking accomplishes us. Again, it's not we accomplish, thinking accomplishes us. We don't accomplish anything. It's again that kind of relationship to me that is a calling that's not so much a determinant. So, yes.
Yes. Would you call the term essence an absolute?
In philosophical terms, Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I mean, again, I was thinking of Sartre, where he says, existence precedes essence. I always write this on my board, even if I'm not teaching existentialism, I write that on the board because that makes all the difference in the world. If your essence precedes your existence, you're done. If your existence precedes you're working toward, that's a perfect example of what I'm trying to say is, you're working toward, your essence should be that which you're called toward. And hopefully you'll never reach it.
Well, according to what you said, if there's no absolutes, there's no essence. It's
Yeah.
all
Right.
a process or
It's a process. That's okay. So here's a section I'm going to try to weave together thinking, being, and now language, and bring us to poetry. Thinking begins without an origin or a known destination. So it's not, I mentioned to someone last night that someone asked, because Derrida's philosophy is very, it feels relativist, right? It feels like, oh my God, anything goes. But it isn't. It's actually the opposite. Because someone asked him, well, what do we do, with this? Or where do we start? And I think he quoted it in some book. I don't know. But he said, you start where you are. That could be my finish of my lecture, right? We start where we are. Okay, so thinking begins without an origin. For me, it begins within the multiplicity of other beginnings. Thus, picking up and dropping off meaning and meanings, always in the process of the opening of thinking. By thinking about the good today, we are thinking today within that which is already known. We came with some knowledge, and also that which is not known. Otherwise, again, we wouldn't have a discussion. If we knew the good, this is over, let's all go home, it's over. The reason we're here is because we don't know what the good is. We sense the good. We all want to know what the good is. I personally would love to know what it is, but I don't think that it's mine. I don't think that I can tell you what it is. And I don't think you can tell me what it is. If we start doing that, I think we begin already oppositional sensibilities. So, basically, we're talking from a place of what we know and what we don't know. There would be no thinking whatsoever if it was entirely known to us through knowledge itself. Kierkegaard, who I like very much, perhaps understands this best in his various theoretical interventions on the notion of faith. For Kierkegaard, faith exists in the space of not knowing. Not being certain, and always in the gap or distance of the unbridgeable. We have faith in anything because we don't know. If we knew that God existed, we wouldn't have faith. Faith is, for Kierkegaard, the very nature of being drawn toward God. It's the ungraspable, unbridgeable, which gives us faith, not certitude. Which is why he wrote the book Concept of Anxiety, because in my book I try to talk about the importance of allowing ambiguity to be in your life, because you're more